To my queridos, amigos, Latinos, you need to vote for Trump. El Kamala Harris is no bueno. If you want to earn dinero, you need to el voto for el President Trump. Con Trump, you will earn mucho dinero. So make sure you el voto Trump in 2024. Let's make El America great again. Muchos gracias, amigos.
Hi, good morning, guys. Yeah, former President Donald Trump continuing his election push today. He's making huge gains with traditionally Democrat voting blocs. So the former president is now leading the VP by 11 points with Latino voters, according to a new USA Today and Suffolk University poll. That same poll is showing Harris's support among black voters is reaching historic lows for a Democratic presidential nominee, with just 72% of likely black voters supporting the vice president. Meanwhile, 57% of voters do not believe Harris has done enough to explain her specific policies as she tries to distance herself from President Biden. Listen.
The lead among Hispanics is back. If you recall, back when Joe Biden was still the presidential candidate for the Democrats, Donald Trump was actually beating him with Latinos. But now, of course, Kamala Harris has replaced Joe Biden, and Donald Trump is now beating her even more. This is a spectacular drop in the poll numbers for Kamala Harris, an 11-point lead. Now, why in the world would Hispanics be breaking for Donald Trump? I mean, after all, he's for a secure border. That's because just like all Americans, we don't want drug dealers coming across the border. We don't want murderers or rapists or terrorists coming across the border. So that, of course, is very important to all voting blocs. And also, of course, Donald Trump's economic policies are much more well remembered than Joe Biden, Kamala Harris's economic policies, because they actually worked, right? And of course, don't forget this: which side, the right or the left, was the side that actually tries to get rid of Christianity, get rid of family values, introduce children to the LGBTQ plus agenda, and of course, try to get rid of an entire language, right? Remember the Latinx fiasco, right? That fell on its face. But because the left hates gendered language, they tried to destroy the entire Spanish language because of wokeness or whatever, right? So these are all things, of course, that would drive Hispanic, Latino voters, etc., away from Kamala Harris and towards Donald Trump. And of course, this is all finally starting to sink in on the left as they get very, very nervous the closer we get to Election Day.
Take a look at where the state of the race is right now, and I could do this with the Real Clear Politics average or CNN's average or whatever, but just looking today, I went to Nate Silver's Silver Bullet Substack, and he has Trump slightly up in Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Harris slightly up in Michigan, Nevada, Wisconsin, and they're tied in Pennsylvania. If that were to be the result tomorrow, that's basically a Trump win. I mean, ultimately, because she needs the 3 blue wall states plus Nevada, and she doesn't have them right now. Are you worried about where the state of the race is right this second? Just be honest.
Yeah. I mean, who isn't? Right. I mean, like, are you human if you think you know? Sell me the crystal ball that you might have if you actually think you know what's going to happen in this election. But I will say, I have always been skeptical of polls, and I fundamentally believe that this election cycle will be the last time that polling is accepted as it is conducted, as it has been for the last 20 years. There hasn't really been a revamping of our polling infrastructure as there has been in the way that candidates engage with voters, and it has to happen because I just don't think, I don't know anyone who has ever been polled, and I know a lot of people. I know a lot of low propensity voters. Yeah. I have never met a person, a voter, when I was knocking on a door that has ever been polled. So I'm like, who are you talking to, and isn't an accurate snapshot?
And let me just also note that all the numbers of Nate Silver is all within the margin of error, every single one of them, any state. And like, you could have 7 states break for Trump, 7 states break for Harris. Nobody has any idea. I mean, are you confident that Trump's going to win?
Oh, I'm not predicting. I'm more confident. I won't rest until after it's over with. But I mean, he's ahead by considerable margins where he was in 16 and in 20 in all the battleground states. And so, since he also has a history of underperforming in the polls, I think that gives me greater confidence. And when I look at the early voting numbers, the voter registration numbers, all those are trending in the right direction.
And the big question, of course, is: are the polls and the poll inaccuracies, are they going to mirror what we saw in 2020, which would help Trump?
It's a big problem. I mean, black voters constitute such a big part of the Democrat base. You take that out and the whole thing sort of falls over. And this is a result of some very simple question that President Trump has asked black voters since 2016. What the hell do you have to lose? And they've responded to that question thinking, well, we keep voting Democrat and things just don't seem to get better. And so his support has gone from 8% in 2016 up to 12% of the black vote in 2020. And now, according to polls, he's somewhere at 20, maybe 23, 24% of the black vote. And if that sticks into Election Day, the Democrats are going to be in very big trouble. That is a very large chunk of their constituency to walk out on them. And the whole thing's going to come crashing down if those numbers hold up.
So as we've been seeing, the Kamala Harris coalition is falling apart. The blue wall of Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, they're all in danger of just crumbling down to the ground. And Donald Trump has made huge inroads with all of these groups that traditionally have done very well with Democrats, right? They're all turning their backs because we recognize what the heck has happened in the past, what's going to happen in the future. And the difference, of course, being Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, Donald Trump, okay? And all of this, of course, has caused Kamala Harris's campaign to get completely desperate and accept endorsements from people that the left would have scoffed at in the past, as is pointed out here by Jon Stewart.
How is that? The Cheney thing. Do we really have to do that?
Look, it goes broader than that. Look, Bernie Sanders, Dick Cheney, Taylor Swift.
No.
That one.
No.
The shooting?
No.
Having the Cheneys on board?
Nah. You can't Dick Cheney or Taylor Swift. No.
We're a big tent.
What country did Taylor Swift get us to invade? No.
Yeah. No, don't you think, though, that, and I do this, I believe this, there is still a core group of folks out there, your point being, and not joke, the don't tread on me, the Reagan piece of this, the libertarian piece, but the constitutional piece, there are a lot of people out there. I think Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney give permission to those folks who want to find a reason to do the right thing. It doesn't mean they agree with us. We're not going to take their foreign policy decisions and discussions, and implement those. We're going to take their
promise?
Yes, promise. It's a stressful time.
It's a stressful time.
So listen to that answer Tim Walz puts out, right? There might be some Republicans out there who are just looking for a reason, any reason to vote for Kamala Harris over Donald Trump. And the endorsement of Dick Cheney might be that reason, okay? Never mind how unpopular the Cheneys became because they turned against Donald Trump and actually led the charge on the Republican side to impeach Donald Trump, all of which led to Liz Cheney being ousted phenomenally from her representative seat. And of course, at what point did the left decide that, oh, Dick Cheney's someone we actually like? And you can see that Jon Stewart right there is just like flabbergasted, right? Do we have to? Do we need his endorsement? Is this necessary? We're in such scary times because Kamala is losing so badly. I guess we got to try to salvage every single vote we can get. So he's none too happy, of course, having to make bedfellows with Dick Cheney. But of course, this is indicative of the entire left at this point. They're in panic mode. They know they're losing. And barring some type of shenanigans on Election Day, I'm not really seeing how Kamala Harris is going to turn this one around. So please get out there and vote. Be vigilant. Stay safe because they're coming after you.